Hello guys, and welcome to my channel, and welcome back to another speed build here. Today I'm building a winter forest house, yes. And if you're watching this on the day I'm uploading this, I want to wish you a very happy Christmas. And if you're new here, if it's the first time you're watching me, my name is Sabrina. I only recently started up my channel. I'm doing speed builds here, like of different kinds of houses. I don't really have a particular style yet. I'm a fairly new builder, so I'm just trying out different things. So if you're interested in following my building journey and if you like my content, I'd love to have you here as a subscriber, of course. And if you're also a builder in The Sims, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Like, I always love to check out creations from other people as well. Yeah, so if you do have a channel or if you share your builds on the gallery, please let me know, guys. Yeah, so for this build, I first didn't have a really precise idea of what I wanted to build. I mean, I knew I wanted to do something like Christmassy, as I haven't done it yet, and now it is Christmas, so yeah. I just started out on this lot in Brindleton Bay. It is like the lot which is like kind of hidden in the forest, like a bit off from the main road, and that is why I came up with the idea of like building a hidden winter home. So I'm imagining that the family living here, they kind of live a bit of like a off-the-grid lifestyle. I mean, not that extremely. It's not like they don't have electricity, because I'm going to give them a few Christmas lights, and obviously they need to be powered up and everything. I mean it more in a way of that they're like not that connected to like urban lives, but they're like really based out there in this house. Like their life is like really based here. So, like the dad, I'm thinking that he might be like a forest ranger. So I gave him like the woodworking table in the back garden, and I also put the bees there. So this could be like his hobby as well. So like he's a really like outdoorsy person, like really kind of connected to nature, and he doesn't care for like all this urban lifestyle. Like he's a really like nature-based guy. And for the mom, I'm thinking that she would also work from home, so I was thinking she could be an author, so like maybe in children books author. And yeah, so she just writes from home and can get a lot of inspiration from like the beautiful surroundings. So like maybe she writes like adventure books for kids. Yeah. Okay, and for like the exterior shape of the house, I said I didn't really know what to do first. So like I took some inspirations from like some suburban house speed builds I watched on YouTube. So like yeah, some inspirations, but obviously this is not like a suburban house, it's like a rustic forest house. But yeah, just like with the shape of it. So for example, I'm including like a front porch, which is the first time I'm doing this for speed builds, and I'm kind of fascinated by them, I have to say, because like where I live, like here in Europe, we don't really have front porches, and I think it's quite like an American thing. So like I always see them in like American movies and American series. Yeah, I'm really fascinated by them because I think it's so comfortable to sit on there with like a tea and on a comfy chair, maybe chat with friends or read something. Yeah, I just find the idea really nice. Yeah, and so I moved the house a bit, so like to create like this terrain bit here at the front. So I have this like two hills at the side to the pathway. So like when you're walking up to the house, it's like a bit concealed by the slopes first. And I'm also like kind of this time I'm also putting a lot of effort in landscaping, at least for me. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, like for me, I'm a bit struggling with landscaping. Like I'm trying to work on it, and I think in this building it's gotten better. Yeah, but it's maybe also because it's like a more of a like a wild, overgrown garden landscaping style, and this kind of suits me better. And I mean, I personally like it better as well compared to like this really structured, neat gardens, because I'm not so sure. Like I always feel like, oh, it looks so empty, or because like, yeah, you can't just like place plants like everywhere like I did here. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that this house looks like nice both in winter and also like during our seasons. So that's why, yeah, I'm starting off like in the summer, like landscaping and everything, but later on we're going to move to like the winter mode once I finished like the landscaping. Yeah, so for here with the slopes, I'm also thinking that they might be pretty nice for the kids, because they could use them like to go sledging in the winter. Sledge down there a bit. I mean, it's just a tiny hill, but yeah. And obviously, I know the Sims can't go sledging. It's just a thing I'm imagining, which would be nice in theory. And actually, I have to bring up the point again I made in my previous video about like wanting a winter sports pack, because sledging would be such a nice addition to this as well. Like I think it would like all suit so well together, like sledging, skiing, snowboarding. Yeah, but I mean, thinking about it, I can imagine that it's probably really difficult, really time intense to animate these like activities. So it's like, yeah, I can imagine it's less likely that we're ever going to get them. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't help but imagining how fun it would be to watch your Sims kids like go sledging and like this. I think it would be so cute. Yeah, and like now I'm just doing the garden. It's not that big because this is a winter build, so I'm not thinking that your Sims will go out that much as well. So I'm just having like the monkey thingy, how do you call it? I've forgotten. And like the woodworking table for that and like this. And yeah, then I also added like this kind of, I'm not sure if you would call it an extension, like, you know, with the glass windows, because obviously like they're much more modern compared to the rest of the house. Like overall I went with like I used like the stone walls from Season, and also like a wood, spluish wood. You can see the front, but it's also from Season, and like complemented with like the like reddish brown roof and like the window shutters, like this warm rich brown there. So I'm thinking like, yeah, it's a nice contrast now with switching to winter mode. Like it's just a really nice contrast. So yeah, like basically this conservatory I added. I'm thinking it's like nice because they're not going to spend so much time outdoor during the winter. So like I think they would probably sit there. Like I'm going to put a dining table there, and they can just sit there with like a hot chocolate and like being all snuggled up with a blanket and just oversee the garden and the beautiful landscape. Yeah, I think this would be really nice. And I also have like the fireplace there as well, so it's like they're all warm, but I can look out in the cold. Yeah, and now we're doing the interior and the kitchen. Just a simple brown kitchen. I mean, I have to say in this house I do actually use a lot of brown. But I mean, which is something I haven't done so much yet before. In my previous builds I went like a colorful style. I mean, apart from my black and white interior build. But yeah, usually I was thinking, oh, isn't it too boring? But it does look really cozy, so yeah, quite happy with this. Yeah, so how are you guys doing actually? Like, how are your plans going along? Christmas now? You having a good time? I've been pretty busy during the last week, like leading up to Christmas now, because apart from uploading my pre-recorded videos, I haven't really had a chance to do anything like Sims related, because I had a lot of work to do, and actually it's just continuing straight after Christmas. So, like, I have 2 days off now, and then it's just ongoing, so I'm not sure when I will really have the chance to do more Sim stuff again. I really want to, because I mean, I just got some new packs again. Like, as you might know, there's like the big sales in the Origin shop, so I didn't get famous. I still didn't get it. I was thinking about it and really tempted, but then I went for get together, and maybe it's surprising to you, but yeah, I mean, I just was really tempted by the build items and of course by Windenburg. So yeah, and I think for this it's really worth it. It's definitely, like, I mean, I can't really give a proper opinion about the pack yet. I haven't tested it yet or anything. I just had a look at like the build items, and of course it wouldn't work, and it is really so beautiful. Like I can't wait to play there and build there. It's like the different districts we have, like this like city center and the part in the forest. It's like all, and the island. It's like amazing. Like I don't know, how could I have played The Sims without this world? It's so beautiful, really. I'm so happy I have it now. But yeah, about like game aspect, I can't say anything too much yet, so I have to wait. And same with the build items. Like yeah, I haven't tried them. I just had a look, and I'm really surprised, I have to say, because um, I expected them to be more like suited to like this old European theme, and of course many of the items are, but there are still quite like a few like modernish items. So this is quite cool. Like I think you get a nice variety there. Yeah. So here you've just seen me how I struggle with the fireplace. I was trying out like different Christmas decoration, like wall decorations, and they would all snap to the wall behind the fireplace, so like they wouldn't stick to the front part of the fireplace where I tried to place them with like a move objects cheat, but it's impossible. I don't know why like this kind of snapping to the wall bit overrides move objects. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, I could have probably removed the wall behind the fireplace and placed a decoration and then add the wall in again, but yeah, I didn't think of this when I was building it. I was just like trying so many things, and I cut them out, so like just show you when I finally found one which worked. And also about like putting things on the shelf of the fire above the fireplace. It's also a bit tricky. I mean, I've seen some YouTubers, including Simlissy, using this kind of reddish shelf. I think some kind of CC item, which helps you to place items on shelves. And I think I have to look into this. Yeah. Now we're doing the living room, and unlike the rest of the house, this is like the decorated in the typical, I mean not just decorated, but like also the furnishing, the wallpaper is like with typical Christmas colors, green and red. Yeah, and unfortunately it is like the living room is quite small. Yeah, like the whole house, like many rooms, they turned out to be quite small, because I don't know, for some reason, like in the past when I was building the Sims site, it always happened to me that rooms would be too big, and then I was like, oh god, what am I going to do with this room? I have so much space and it looks so empty. And but now it's a bit more the opposite. So like now my rooms tend to be too small, but I think it is probably better. I mean, I could have probably taken away some more space from the living room because I made this quite big. Because for me, in my mind, I'm thinking that the living room is kind of like a second. I mean, sorry, I want to say that the dining room in this build is probably kind of like a second living room for this family. I imagine that they spend a lot of time in the dining room, and that's why I also have like the two Christmas trees there. So yeah, I think like the living room, they're doing more like this, exchanging gifts on Christmas, and then like watching Christmas movies together in the evening. But like all this festive like eating and stuff is like takes place in the dining room. Yeah, and I've just yeah, we're already past it now. I've done the hallways, and this time I just wanted to say that this time I'm actually satisfied with how the hallway turned out, because often it's another thing where I'm like, what should I do with the hallway? Or it's kind of like doesn't turn out really great. It's just like I want to get it done. And this time, yeah, I found it. I did a bit better. Like I discovered this like storage unit. I believe it's from Laundry Days, and yeah, it's a really versatile piece. So I used this in a corridor, and then also in the kids' bedroom, and I placed like the laundry basket on top of it. So because I think it's quite a realistic thing to do. Yeah, like just just put the laundry basket just down there for a moment and then you forget it. Yeah, and yeah, so now we've done this is the second bathroom actually, what I'm doing right now, because I've cut out the first bathroom. They look really similar, so you don't really miss much, and I include them both in the screenshots for you to see. Yeah, and I mean, I really like the wallpaper I'm using here, like this, I don't know how to call it, with the wood going through it, and I use it like throughout the house actually. So I use it like in the bathrooms, in the corridors, hallways, and in the kitchen, and like, same with the floor flooring, so I kind of use the same flooring all over the house, and it's kind of different from what I did in my previous house builds, because in my previous house builds I was always so focused on like the individual rooms, so like I wanted to make sure, okay, does this suit this room, because I was, okay, for whom is this room? This is a room for like this kind of character, and then I'm always trying to make the room really suitable for the character, and then I've kind of forget about, or not forget, but maybe I don't care so much about the overall, I mean, how it all looks together, but it looks like cohesiveness. Like I didn't care too much about the cohesiveness. But yeah, in this house it's like looking pretty cohesive, because I'm like using more of the same wallpapers and floorings. And yeah, I think it makes sense here, because it's like I said, like it's a really like, it's not, well, it's like a more simple rustic style house, so I think it's more focused on like functionality and like the practicality, so they don't like, they're not like, it's not like a designer home where you design a home where you like have every room styled in a different way and like this. So yeah, so now we've started with the first kids room. So in this house, like I decorated 2 kids rooms for both girls. Yeah, so I'm thinking of like 2 kids, actually like kids age, and thinking that the girls are probably around the same age, like really in a similar age group. So in the first room here, I'm using like a lot of like brighter colors and pink accents. I gave her like the scouting board, which I haven't actually used that much. I haven't used much yet, not in builds, and also I have to say not really in gameplay, because yeah, shame on me. Yeah, so I gave her this, and also like the drawing desk. So yeah, I mean, I'm imagining a girl living here that she's quite social and involved in a lot of like school clubs, and kind of like this everybody's darling character, but not in an annoying way, like more in a sweet and outgoing way. Yeah, I mean, often I am quite unsure about kids' rooms, but with both of the kids' rooms this time, I'm actually quite pleased. Like, I think this time I found a good balance between like nicely decorated but not too childish, also with the colors. So yeah, and I also think that the rooms, because they're not too childish, they do still suit like older kids so as well. So I'm imagining that maybe the girl living there, she's about like 10 or 11, and the room could still suit like a teenager, in my opinion. Same with the second room, what we have here now, her sister's room. So as said, I'm also thinking that this is a girl's room, but of course, if you want to download this, it's up to you guys who you put in here. And so the girl living here, she is much more into science and maybe wants to become a vet, and she's growing up. So I gave her this like science experiment table and a few animal posters. And compared to her sister's room, like her room is like less decorated with like this I don't know, I don't want to say unnecessary things, but it's not like that like stylized. It's stylized, but like not, it's kind of like, oh, nicely decorated, but it's more like it's a bit messy, because I'm thinking maybe the girl's like, you know, she's so much into her science project, so she's like a bit absent-minded and forgets about tidying up sometimes. So yeah, and maybe this is just like her creative chaos. Yeah. And this house is also like the first home where I'm including pet equipment. Like in my previous house, I always kind of forgot about it. So here I included like pet equipment for a dog, because I'm thinking it makes sense for this family to have a dog, because they're like living far off from like many other houses, many other residential areas. Like they're out here in the forest. It might be a bit scary, and you might feel like maybe a bit unsafe. So I think it's like really nice, and you have a dog who could like report to you if there's like somebody sneaking around the house, somebody you don't want to sneaking around your house. So yeah, so we're kind of finished now. I hope you liked this building, guys. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, or please let me know in the comments what you think about this. And yeah, if you do enjoy my content, and if you want to see more from what I'm doing, please subscribe for more. I've mentioned a few times before that I have planned a mansion coming up, and so this should be coming soon. Not sure if I'll make 1 or 2 videos out of it, because it's a bit long. But yeah, you will see. Okay, so Thank you so much for watching again, guys. I wish you a very happy Christmas again, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.